Hey BookTube, it's Sarah and welcome back to my channel, The Book Bag. Today I'm going to be doing my April bullet journal setup. So for my tarot cards today, I have the Three of Coins, which is honing one's skills to master a craft, material increase, and trade and commerce. And this is just kind of a hope for my YouTube channel. I've been getting a few new followers and that's been really great, so I'm hoping for more new followers to join us in all of these bullet journal and book journeys. My next card is the Star, and that represents transcendence, dreams, meditation, intuition, and spiritual growth. This one's a little bit more related to the theme of the month this year because I have this kind of like illuminated medieval manuscript look to it, and so I thought that card represented kind of like the monks in the monastery who are doing all these crazy drawings for the texts. So that one's a little bit more related to the theme. But as you can see, I spent a lot of time tracing out designs from the internet using a pencil because I was like, there's no way I can draw any of these crazy things that illuminated manuscripts have on them. So I found some fun little borders and this really pretty illuminated A, which I decided to just glue in because I already had so much to draw and it took me quite a while to trace out the designs in pencil, so I figured I would save myself some work and just glue it in because it's already black and white, so it worked out. I also already glued in some craft paper along the bottom because I wanted to trace over top of it, and so just to like save myself some time and not have to glue it in and then trace while filming and then delete all that footage, we had it pre-done. I also found some other border designs on Pinterest that were more complicated than these ones, and I would very seriously consider doing them, but I'm glad I did not because this took me like probably half an hour to trace out and then, you know, another half an hour or so to draw out in my bullet journal. So I'm really glad that I stuck with the more simple design. I think it still looks really pretty and it's got kind of like floral vibes to it, but yeah, glad I stuck with the easier method. I also found some really weird medieval drawings of like animals that they have in the manuscripts. So like the first one I drew was a little jackrabbit with a horn, like a little trumpet or something. And then I have on the left-hand side of the page a little snail who looks like he is maybe fighting with someone. He looks like he's yelling at someone. And then in the middle of the bottom of the page, I have this little, it looks like a cat snail. I'm really not sure what was going on with him, but he just looks so sad and hilarious that I wanted to put him on the page as well. And then finally I have this incredibly bizarre looking cat that's wearing like a really weird crown. And he just like barely looks like a cat, so I decided to include him on the page because I just thought he was such a weird looking animal. They're all very strange, but I love the weird medieval animals. They're so bizarre. I also wrote out the rest of April in kind of medieval looking font. And then on the facing page, I have my sleep tracker. If you've watched any of my bullet journal videos before, you know I do one of these every single month, and every month I seem to sleep less and less than before, so that's not great, but at least I have evidence of why I'm so tired all the time, I guess. I also used this really pretty washi tape from a store called The Washi Station. They work with independent artists to produce all these like wonderfully beautiful washi's, and this was actually the inspiration for my theme this month. But if you look at it, it kind of has the medieval manuscript vibes to it. It's got like little unicorns and stuff on it and all the kind of leaf looking things as well that you see in illuminated manuscripts. But I just really love their washi tapes. I bought a bunch of them when they had a sale recently, and they're so pretty. They're done by all these different independent artists, and they're also a Canadian shop, so I really loved supporting them and being able to support a bunch of local Canadian artists as well. I'll leave a link down below for their shop. They're not like sponsoring this video or anything. I just think their washi tapes are some of the most beautiful I've ever seen, and they just have some great stuff. and it came beautifully packaged and they're really good quality. They also have a lot of washi tape on the roll, which sometimes I'll buy washi tape from like Michael's and they won't have that much on the roll. So these guys have great stuff. I would highly recommend. So this next spread is my normal monthly spread. I start my weeks on Mondays because that's how it is in my brain. I always think Monday is the start of the week. We've got Saturday and Sunday as the weekend. And yeah, I don't know. That's just how it is. And then I took advantage of this manuscript kind of theme to make the to-do banner on the side look like that little kind of old parchmenty look, because it's pretty easy to do, but it looks really nice. I then wrote out April in that same kind of medieval font and then 2022 in a normal font. And for my weekly spreads, I just split it out into my little boxes with the torn paper look for it as well. Oh, and I did not notice this before, but I think on my right-hand side, my bottom two boxes are like one line too far up. But that's okay, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just like, this was a super simple way of doing the weekly spread and gives me lots of room, but still keeps with the theme. I used my Tombow dual brush pen in the dark purple to color in the line where the days of the week go, and then I used a white Jelly Roll pen to write out the days of the week. It looked good at first, and then it kind of faded after a while, and I ended up going over it again, but whatever. I also used one of my zebra mild liners to create a little shadow around the calendar, and it actually turned out really well. I thought it would just be kind of fun, but I really like how it looks, so I think I might just continue doing that for all my calendars. So it just adds a little bit of, I don't know, creativity, just a little bit of something. Then I am using my Crayola pencil crayons to go back and color in all of the little leaves and stuff for my medieval border. This took quite a while. There's a lot of colors to go in here. There's a lot of tiny fidgety little leaves to color in, but I think it ended up looking super nice. And I did use a like dark green for some of the leaves, a light green for some of the others, and then some of them I did like kind of two-toned so it looks like they have shadows underneath. I don't know how well you can see that in the video, but just, you know, feeling a little more artistic than normal, which means it took me a lot longer than it could have, but that's okay. Hi. Parsnip has come to say hi. And then I got around to coloring the little friends that I have included on my page. I ended up naming them, so we have Jacques, who's the little bunny up top for like Jackrabbit, and I imagine him as like the heralder of this little kingdom. And then the arguing snail on the left, I decided to call him Etienne. I don't know why they all have French names, but they do. And then the little cat snail in the middle, I imagined to be the offspring of the snail and the cat, and I named her Clotilde because I thought it sounded like a kind of a sad name. But then the cat I named Myrtle, so I guess they're not all French names, but that was my boyfriend's suggestion, and it's just a bizarre name for a bizarre animal. So Clotilde, Myrtle, Etienne, and Jacques they are. I used a kind of like light hazily brown color to do the borders for the weekly spread, and I only show myself drawing out one of the weekly spreads, but they all look the same. They all look like this. It's just, you don't need to see me drawing 8 boxes for 4 different weeks. It looks exactly the same. I then used that same washi tape that I used for the edge of my page in the middle, partly because there was one of the threads from the binding of the book that was kind of coming loose, and so I wanted to tape that down. but I had done this sort of thing in my reading journal and I really liked how it looked, and I wanted this to give kind of a border for the inside edge of the cover page, and that way I didn't have to draw as much, and it's just so pretty. I wanted to see like the whole thing at once. I ended up coloring in the flowers around the big capital letter A just to add a bit more color. And I did go back later and fill in that blank space under the cover with a mini calendar. I will have footage of that you can see, but that is my bullet journal for April. I'm super happy with it. I did trace like all of these things, but I put them together in a different way. Like they're from different sources and I put them together myself, so I'm really proud with how they turned out. And I'm just pretty impressed with how it looks because, as y'all know, I'm not great at drawing, but I think it's really fun and it brings me joy to see my little bizarre friends hanging out on the page. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.